Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 12th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, now we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, we call the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Here.
Becky McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
And then move on to the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any changes to the minutes? Would entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
We motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All those for say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, on to department head reports. First up will be Chief Morgan, Police Department.
Good evening, everybody. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 536 calls for service, and 12 people were arrested for the following crimes. 1 for operating while intoxicated, 8 were wanted on a warrant, 1 for domestic battery, 1 for invasion of privacy, 1 for driving while suspended. In that same time frame, the officers took 30 crash reports, and we had 0 handgun carry license get sent off. On to training. Officers Custis and Sobik completed the breath test for intoxication course at the Academy. On December 1st, we had our last defensive tactics training for the year. Officers Robertson and McCloskey taught removing and securing combative prisoners from vehicles. We did that in the bay at the police station. Our officers are continuing to complete their state mandates for 2022, and we should have them all completed by January. And then, as you know, we've had a hiring process going on, and we're down to our final 3 that we are planning an interview with you guys on Friday. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? Anything from the public? Sir? Next will be Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 150 emergency calls for service, logged 199 training hours, and completed 40 commercial inspections. Our pre-application process was closed on December 1st. The written aptitude test is scheduled for December 19th in the Herbin B. Wells Room at the Lebanon High School. Today is the first of 3 days scheduled at ZORS for extrication training. We'd like to thank ZORS for being a great public safety partner with the City of Lebanon. On Saturday, December 10th, LFD hosted the YMCA's Breakfast with Santa at Station 11. It was a great event, very well attended, and we were happy we could help the YMCA with that. The LFD administrative staff will be at Walmart on Friday, December 16th from 1 until 3. We will be ringing the Salvation Army kettlebells. I sit on the local Salvation Army Advisory Board. All the money raised in Boone County stays here in Boone County to help our residents in their time of need. 2023 will bring significant changes to LFD. As December progresses, we will release department bulletins to update the public. Our first announcement of 2023 is the promotion of 3 veteran firefighters to the rank of engineer. Lanny Mitchell has 13 years, Tori Bossum with 7 years, and Wes Bankert with 4 years. We'd like to congratulate these gentlemen on their accomplishment. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? Anything from the public? Thank you, sir. Next is Caleb Skank with the Parks and Recreation Department.
Good evening. Our ground's been in great condition heading into the winter thanks to the warm and dry conditions. Downtown beds were cleaned up and cut back, and all the Christmas decorations have been added, along with all the decorations at Memorial Park. We had a few trees fall down, along with a couple we took down ourselves over these storms we had in November here in the beginning of December. We also had a tree tagging program done, so if you go to the park, all the trees have been tagged with a QR code you can scan with your phone, and it'll tell you everything about that tree. On to programs, Christmas in the Cabin and Christmas in the Parade were this last Saturday, December 3rd. Although it was extremely cold and windy, we had a great turnout. We'd also like to thank all the volunteers for the parade and all the volunteers that helped in the cabin. We look forward to next year. Main event carriages will be doing their evening carriage rides Friday and Saturday, this Friday and Saturday from 5:30 to 9 p.m. Reservations can be made over the phone at 317-800-2101, and they are $25 each. In the next week or two, we will be posting about our virtual blanket fort building contest. Families can get together over winter break and create some awesome blanket forts and a chance to win a prize from the Parks Department. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Caleb. Any questions for Caleb from the board?
Nope.
Anything from the public? Yeah, thank you, sir. Next is Engineering Department, Kevin Krulik.
Thank you very much. Engineering report for this evening. Pavement resurfacing for next year. We opened bids at the last meeting, so I'll have some more detail on this later in the meeting, but we received 6 bids. All were qualified bidders. We've got a low bid provided by Howard Companies of around $151,000. Also happy to report that we also received an announcement last week that we received Community Crossing Award for next year, or Community Crossing Award 2022 Round 2 Award that we'll use next year for that resurfacing program. And those funds totaled just shy of $340,000. I'll get into that in more detail later, but happy to report that we have a plan moving forward for the 2023 resurfacing program. Let's see, other projects, we also at that same time last meeting, we opened bids for the street department supply bids. Several bids were submitted there across the board. The following contractors were kind of our lowest bidders on various materials, so liquid bituminous, Triangle Asphalt, asphalt milling, removal and replacements all came under Triangle Asphalt was the low bidder. Milestone was our low bidder for asphalt material supplies. With the exception of the winter mix, the low bid was Central Paving. And all of our concrete removal and replacement work, the low bidder was Wilson Construction. Witt Road Bridge, now as of last Friday, we were 128 days into LDs. Happy to report that if you looked at the details of your claims, they did acknowledge that 128 days on the pay applications that are in the claims for this cycle. And they've been really working hard in the last couple of days to get things wrapped up. So asphalt surface is now complete. As of today, the striping was installed. The guardrails were also installed. Trails were installed a couple of weeks ago. All the concrete railings are up and the forms have now been removed. And topsoil has been placed. Temporary seed is still supposed to come in this week. Some end section toe blocks and anchors are also supposed to be installed. General site cleanup is expected. Essentially wrapping up the project with the exception of some weather or temperature related items that will have to wait till spring, and those include permanent seating, some top coating of the Texas rails, the concrete rails, as well as some concrete repairs and replacements that'll have to be done as throughout the normal punch list program. Also wanted to remind everyone that contract did include a 1-year maintenance and inspection period to be provided by the contractor. So they will be maintaining that bridge for 1 year until it is turned over to the county, and then it will be adopted into their maintenance programs. On that same side of town, Witt Road Phase 2, you might recall that we submitted that for the 2028 federal call for funding availability. Everything went smoothly on our submittal, and we have now been scheduled for an interview on that grant application on January 3rd. So not too far away, but right after we get back from the holidays, we'll be going through that interview process with the state and federal highway. The Elmwood Bridge, things are moving smoothly there. Since we last met, we've completed the pump around. We've done tree removal and also a tree transplant. We've completed all of our excavations. We've drove all of our piling. The crane has been moved in and already moved back out. It's quite a process. It comes in on 3 semi-trailer loads to set that up and then 3 to take it back out. It takes longer to set the crane up and remove it than it did to drive the piling. But all the piling is complete. We've completed the end bent or the foundation rebar and forming and actually poured that earlier today. So that's moving forward. We'll be continuing with deck forming in the coming weeks, and our schedule to pour that bridge deck should happen before we meet next in January. So sometime here before the end of the year, if things continue current weather patterns. But your guess is as good as mine as if we'll be able to continue that. Grant Street project, we're still in our winter shutdown, although we will be doing some additional clearing sometime in the next couple of weeks. Kind of waiting for the weather to freeze the ground, make sure that we can minimize our disturbance as we get in there. Remind everyone, Phase 2 and 3 will start up, in the spring around April 1st, and that is to be wrapped up by late November or late October next year. Grant Street Phase 2, no real movements there, although I believe those contracts should be arriving from NDOT at any moment now. The mayor will have those to execute on his desk, or I should say on your desk. They come in with a digital DocuSign prompt, so be looking for that in your email as those get completed. Fordyce Street, happy to report Lebanon Utilities has wrapped up their sanitary sewer replacement project. Between Park and Grant, all the main and lateral replacements were complete, and the asphalt patching was complete last week, and the road actually opened up last Thursday. The detour signage is still in place, but I'm told it will be removed, if not already removed this evening, will be removed tomorrow, and that is, again, back open to through traffic. Big Four Trail, will be opening bids on that later tonight, but at our meeting, at the last meeting, we received 3 bids on that, and a low apparent bidder is roughly $2.276 million, and that would be Reith Riley. On a path note, the East Street lighting is moving forward. Pole bases are arriving, and we should start seeing pole bases installed this week, and hopefully lights going up before the end of the year. On Stone Eater, just one quick update. I did get some feedback from IDEM. They've told us to not expect a approval or any notices from them till probably early January after we get through the holiday season. So I'll keep you posted on that, but hopefully when we meet next, we will have those for you. Regional detention, no real updates, other than just to remind everyone we're going to a drainage board hearing with the county just after Christmas on the 28th at 10:30 a.m. Just to the local MOU with the county has already been approved. This is just a public hearing that is required whenever we're doing any reconstructions of a legal drain. So that public hearing has been set for 10:30 a.m. on December 28th. That's probably all the project updates I have from the inspection department since we last met. There's been 14 SWIP inspections, 3 complaint inspections, and 7 right-of-way inspections. Mr. Calvert has also been hard at work on updating our NPDES permits with our consultants at Christopher Burke. Still a lot going on, still projects trying to get their roads paved this year. I think curbs are going in Cedar Ridge, hoping to get the next section of Cedar Ridge paved before asphalt plants shut down, which I'm told is sometime possibly as early as the end of this week, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's all I have for tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Any questions for Kevin from the board? Dick?
Kevin, on the Elmwood Bridge, did you have any problems with homes or anything when they were driving the piles?
No problems were reported. We had vibration monitoring set up. We also did pre-inspections, interior and exterior, of the 4 adjacent homes. Nothing gave us any cause for alarm that there would be any damage caused by the vibrations. And then again, we were monitoring vibrations. They were what we expected them to be, but again, we received no reports from any homeowners that there was any concerns whatsoever. The piling really started at about 8 a.m., and I think by 12:30 we were done. So it was much quicker than we thought would be. In fact, we thought it might go a couple of days. We did have to restrike one pile the second day, which is just a testing requirement. You put the hammer back on one pile, try to drive it one more time just to make sure it doesn't go into the ground any further. But essentially, we were done in half the time we thought we would be. And again, no reports of any damage. Things are really going smoothly on that project at this time. So,
Please knock on wood for me, Kevin, on that one. All right, any other questions for Kevin? Okay, questions for the public? Okay. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
All right, and next will be Play Department, Ben Bontrager.
Good evening, board members. Planning activity over the last couple of weeks included an additional 85 building inspections. So again, still seeing very strong activity as it relates to construction projects, and we really don't expect to see much of a slowdown in the winter months. There's a lot of things happening around the city. In addition, we issued 30 new permits, and that does include 4 new single-family home permits. So still seeing very regular activity as it relates to new home construction. I do know that we will by far have our best year ever with single-family new permits, so I'm looking forward to providing some of those year-end numbers for you at your next meeting, which will be in January at your next meeting. So looking forward to see what our final numbers look like for the year, but again, still seeing very regular and strong activity there. In terms of Plan Commission applications, we just did have a filing deadline this last week and received a new application. This would be the development plan application for the Eli Lilly site north of town. So we've started our review of that, and there's a lot to review. It's a big site, 600 acres, and there's like 7 or 8 buildings on the campus. So there's a lot for us to review to get through that. So that'll be ongoing throughout the rest of this month and into January as we get ready to get that forward to the Plan Commission. On the code enforcement side, again, a lot of activity taking place over the last couple of weeks. 50 new investigation activities, unique investigation activities, anything ranging from sending out courtesy notices to having meetings regarding various issues. So a lot of strong activity there. And that does include 4 new cases that have arisen over the last couple of weeks. So again, taking a look at those and following up and making sure we're getting all those taken care of. One final thing, as a lot of you probably know, the planning department and engineering department will be growing over the next couple of years to respond to all the activity we're seeing. The planning department is hiring an admin sometime after the first of the year, and then we have to move a couple other people around over the next year to make room for the city court coming back. So we've actually hired Browning Day to help us evaluate our space, try to figure out how to most effectively and efficiently use our space without having to make significant changes. So we're going through that process right now. Should hopefully have some preliminary recommendations from them before the end of the year, and try to kick off the first of the year with some development of some plans to help us figure out how best to do that. Not expecting any sort of major changes like building additions or anything like that, really just trying to reprogram our space, make more offices where we can, and get more workspaces where we can to help hopefully get us to the point where for at least the next 3 to 4 years we have enough space to be able to accommodate our growth. And so that's something that's ongoing right now, and hopefully we got some plans in place early next year that we can start implementing. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? Anything from the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And next is Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
Glad it's not snowing, that's all I'm gonna say. Leaf season's wrapped up for the season. Our final numbers came in. We traveled 3,986 miles. Never left town, believe it or not. But, well, we did, we went to Lambs, so. Fuel used for the trucks was 958 gallons, and fuel used for our leaf machines ended up being 1,380 gallons. Our total maintenance cost for the season was $3,407.39. So that's good. Those new leaf machines and stuff, and having newer trucks really helps that a lot. The total weight that we picked up was over 1 million pounds. It was 1,071,159,233. So starts out flat and we make a mountain. So Lambs loves it, but I need to take a picture of it before and after sometime so you guys can see it. It's pretty neat. But we've been very busy getting all the plow trucks set up for the winter. We got one truck out getting some warranty work done on it. So once we get it back, we'll have them all hooked up. The heat went out on it, so it's kind of a priority when you're in the winter. But let's see, what else do we got? Just a reminder that brush pickup is done for the season. We keep having people putting it out there. If we get storms, we'll be out, but we have people sticking it out in the road, and that's gonna be a problem, when we're trying to plow and for other people. Speaking of plowing, we have noticed that some of our residents are leaving their trash cans in the road daily instead of taking it up once their trash service runs, or just leaving it out there, and it's going to cause some problems plowing. We don't want to knock people's trash out all over the place. So, and then it also makes it in the cul-de-sacs where we can't clean them up real good if there's trash cans there. So if you could, I don't know why they're leaving them, just take them up to your house or whatever. At least put them in your yard. That'd help. We don't want to knock them over. We have been busy doing some snow training. We got some new people, so really what that consists of is having them drive their routes in the plow trucks, riding with some guys that's plowed, and make them aware where fire hydrants are, where mailboxes are, because it's totally different, as Dick can tell when you're actually out there. It looks a little different, but trying to remind them not to bury fire hydrants. Watch for, if we do pile up snow in the middle, watch for kids. We ran into where we were getting ready to push some a couple years ago, and the kids flew out of there, so we're just trying to remind these guys to be aware. If you see look like kids are playing, don't hesitate to get out and make sure nobody's in there, stuff like that. We usually try not to pile them up in the middle, but just things you're trying to teach them. So, and most of it you learn on the fly, but safety stuff we try to. Stormwater crew's been pretty busy with locates. We used to get about 10, we probably get about 60 a day now, but that don't mean we locate 60 of them. It just, you got to feed through them and all that. They're also wrapping up their stuff, getting all that done, clean off the debris and stuff. The new facility update, earth moving is complete, site utilities is ongoing. Basically, the storm's complete, water's like 75% done, which means, it's probably ran to the building, probably just hasn't connected to the water yet. The roofing and siding are almost complete, and the concrete and curbs about 80%, so that's all I got for you.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave from the board? Anything for the public? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. If you haven't been out there, I'd definitely go look at it. It looks like a building now.
Okay. All right, and last but not least, communications and community development, Joe LePage.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Wanted to have everybody circle their calendars for December 16th. That's when Lebanon's TextMyGov feature will hit the ground and be running. Our latest training session happened at the end of last week, including code enforcement, and our MS4 coordinator, Scott Calvert, will be training on the 16th, the day of the launch, and so we're going to be working with the planning office, and we're going to be doing something a little bit more robust within the building here. Promotional materials that will be circulated through print and social media. Also, the city's webpage for TextMyGov is complete. It is live, but I haven't added it to anything where someone that could stumble upon it and see it just yet. Also, we'll be installing a widget, so when you go to the city's homepage, you'll be able to see it kind of in the corner, and it'll stay with you. Hey, if you want to receive text alerts, you can sign up here, that type of thing. And it's very similar to what I received today from our sheriff's department when the concrete lost its load on 865 East. Just kind of a hey notification if you're heading that way. A lot of times when that happens and involves Lebanon, I'll copy and paste that via the social media channels, but with TextMyGov, we'll be able to do that and send that out to people on their phones, just like you receive with the sheriff's office. And so looking forward to replicating that here within the city of Lebanon. Free to participate, there'll be ways, and I'll break those all down for you to be able to sign up for those alerts, but they'll pertain to citywide alerts, city notifications, open houses, meetings, also Lebanon events. Lebanon likes to throw a party, park happenings as well as Lebanon projects. And so a lot of the home builds that Ben was talking about, different things that are going on in the various departments, we'll be sharing that information with the public to try and keep them informed as best we can as a city. Video work wrapped up shooting for the Lebanon Police Department promotional video series. Last week I was at the shooting range, took the mayor's intern out there as well to be able to give her kind of a close-up look at how to use a drone. She got to fly the drone for a little while, and appreciate LPD firing off some rounds for us to get some video coverage captured. The editing has begun in this process, the storyboard process, along with some of the video putting together, but also the text that goes with it. That'll be used for department and also city promo services, like I do with other departments as well. This will be for potential new officers. There'll be two different versions of the video. One will be for the community to see the great things that are going on, but hopefully also to entice new officers with different things that officers speak that they would find attractive to a police department. And so looking forward to putting that out and having LPD use that and to their benefit. So looking forward to adding that. The goal for that video is to launch January 1 of '23, and so we're well on pace for that, with all the shooting complete and editing beginning now.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? Anything for the public? Okay, that concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. First item up is bid award for the 2023 street resurfacing program. Kevin?
Thank you very much. I submitted a bid tabulation that you should have received with your agenda materials for tonight. I mentioned this earlier, but we received 6 bids from Baumgardner, Calumet, DC Construction, Howard Companies, Midwest Paving, and Reith Riley. And the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder has been designated as Howard Companies. It's actually the company that did our resurfacing program this year as well, and we were really pleased with the work that they did. But their bid of $851,035.65, that is for the base bid, and all alternates was the lowest bidder, and they were deemed the most responsive and responsible bidder in addition to having the lowest number. And so we would recommend that you authorize me to issue a notice of award to the Howard Companies, and then authorize the mayor to execute subsequent contracts associated with that, the 2023 resurfacing program.
Any questions about that from the board? Okay. Would entertain a motion then to issue a notice of award to Howard Companies and authorize myself to sign on the board's behalf, getting all final legal review as well.
I'll make a motion that we approve Howard Companies for the 2023 road resurfacing program and authorize Kevin to initiate that and authorize the mayor to go ahead and sign those agreements.
Okay, we have motions. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second from Bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Kevin. Next is the 2023 street supplies bid.
Thank you. I mentioned this earlier, and a bid tabulation has also been sent around to you documenting the bids. For the most part, we just had one bidder per material that we had requested, with the exception of the supplier of our winter mix asphalt. So the liquid bituminous material is, the low bidder is Triangle Asphalt Paving Company. All asphalt milling, removal, and replacement unit price bids were also Triangle Asphalt Company. All asphalt material supplies, with the exception of winter mix, the low bid was Milestone Contracting. The winter mix delivered material, the low bidder there is Central Paving, and then all concrete removal and replacement items, the low bidder there is Wilson Construction. All bids received, as I have read here, are the lowest, most responsive, and responsible bidders submitting on the project. So I would recommend that you authorize me to issue the appropriate notices of award associated with these supply items, and authorize the mayor to execute any subsequent contracts.
Any questions on that for Kevin? I know there's a lot of bids there, so we'll just entertain a motion to award as presented based on the bid tabulation and Kevin's recommendation.
So you're recommending that we accept all the asphalt suppliers?
Yes.
And then also the concrete suppliers?
Yes.
Correct, okay.
Yep.
I'll make a motion, we approve the Milestone Contractors, Triangle Asphalt for the asphalt supplies, and Wilson Contracting for the concrete, and authorize Kevin to go ahead and issue that notice, as well as authorize the mayor to sign the agreements for that.
I would ask for a revision, if I could, to your motion, that the low bid for the winter mix material, the material delivered to the street department, the low bid there was provided by Central Paving. All the other
I'm sorry, I missed
supplies,
that one.
the Milestone beat us out, but Milestone beat them out, but on that one, Central Paving
I
did provide the
will add
lowest.
that as well, Central Paving to the winter mix delivery.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. And finally, the bid award for the Big Four Trail Rural Section.
Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, we received 3 bids from Calumet, Morphe Construction, and Reith Riley. And the lowest bidder at $2,276,325.26 was provided by Reith Riley. In review of their bid package, they were also deemed to be responsive and responsible. So I am recommending that we declare Reith Riley the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder. And I would ask that you authorize myself and Mr. Warren, who has been key in putting this bid package together, to issue the appropriate notices of award and then authorize the mayor to execute any subsequent contracts.
Any questions about that from the board?
Just the funding, we got the funding in place for this? I'm assuming we did, or we wouldn't have bid, so.
We do, the bid was at $2,276,000. The engineer's estimate that goes all the way back to the Next Level Trails grant and the funding requests that were provided was only $1,968,897.86. So there is a gap there of roughly $300,000. And we've also, the first phase, the urban phase, is also over budget. So we've got roughly, I think, 1.4 million left in that fund to continue to the project. Once we have some final numbers put together and also looking at other park projects that may be related to this, we will come in first quarter of next year for an additional appropriation so that we can fully fund this. We have enough money in place to get things started and get things under contract and moving forward, but we will need an additional appropriation to complete the project.
Okay.
Or some type of appropriation from food and beverage or some
Right,
other
sure.
source,
Yeah.
But we have
Right.
cash on hand that we can fund.
Yeah, there are a number of sources, so we have the cash on hand to execute the contract, but we will need to formalize that through an appropriation process. And like I said, we'll come in first quarter to that. We typically can't do additional appropriations till right at the end of the first quarter. That'll be about the time construction is getting started anyway, so.
Okay.
Any questions on that bid award?
I'll make a motion, we approve Reith Riley Construction for the Big Four Trail Rural Section.
Okay, we have a motion.
Amount of $2,276,325.26.
We have-
Authorize them to go ahead and send the notice, as well as authorize the mayor to sign that agreements and so forth.
Sure. You repeat the amount, Kevin?
$2,276,325.26.
Yep.
Did I say something else?
No, yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All those first say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, that concludes what I have for old business. Is there anything from the board? Okay, new business. I didn't realize you're still up here, Kevin. Change order request for the Whit Road Bridge.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that we've had good progress in the last 2 weeks of wrapping up the Whit Road Bridge, and as I mentioned, the pay applications, deemed the final pay applications and retainage requests are in the claim cycle for this payment period. And to button a few things up, there are some change orders we need to address. As I mentioned, we are settling in at $128,000 on liquidated damages, which is the liquidated damages accrued from August 4th through December 9th. But there's a couple other things that we have to also clean up on the billing before we can pay the bills and close out that project. There are, sorry, I just lost my screen here. There's a change order for an additional animal path. This was something that was added in post-bid. As we wrapped up permits, we had to add an animal path underneath the bridge so that the critters can get underneath the bridge.
Really?
You'd think they could run across the rocks, but apparently they prefer.
They won't get the feet
a path.
wet. Okay.
Do we have a sign for that? Animal Crossing sign or anything?
We're working on that, yes. Animal Crossing here. Caution, bucks, low antler clearance, so.
Can it be
It
striped?
should be a pretty good path for $5,000.
Should we
Yes.
Should we cross-hatch it, stripe it, you know, for pedestrian safety?
We should consider it. Yeah, it's a little asinine, but
We don't have
it
to put
is-
lights on, do we, underneath the
No,
bridge
we
or
do not have to
anything?
put lights on, we just have to provide a
Make
path.
sure we got everything thought out.
Okay.
And then there is also a change order associated with the, some water line investigation that goes back to the beginning of the project. This is when we were searching for the water main at the beginning. You might recall that was also part of the drama on the project, that the water main wasn't properly relocated, but we did authorize the contractor to go to some additional efforts to try to locate that water line. So again, this dates back to the beginning of the project, but we do need to, it is fair that we compensate the contractor accordingly for that work. So there's that. And I'm sorry, I should mention these prices as we go through here. So the additional T&M work associated with the investigation work for the water main. This is expensive because it involves hydrovac equipment to come out and search for these things, and they spent a couple of days searching. That total was $16,043.09. And the animal path total,
$5,065?
yes, $5,065. I don't know, I'm sorry, having some technical difficulties. For some reason, I can't see all the change order files right now.
You have it, Tanya. Kevin,
So
Tanya
the
has
last
it.
one is on the HDPE. I don't know what that is.
Yes, it's for additional storm sewer pipe. There was an unforeseen storm sewer coming from the south end of the project that we had to extend to the north.
Okay.
And here it goes.
That's $11,051.56.
Thank you very much. That's correct.
Any questions on those change orders?
So we need to approve all three of these?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Is this all one change order then, or?
They are three separate change orders.
Three separate change orders, okay.
Do they have numbers on?
One,
Well, there are change order numbers on these?
You got 210008, 09, and 08 again.
That's job number.
The job number, yeah.
Is that your change order number?
No.
Yeah, they don't.
I don't believe they did include numbers on these.
Yeah, we can probably assign numbers. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, they are, each of these change orders is listed as line items in the pay applications, so that's how we're tracking them. We could refer to the line item numbers in the contract if that helps, but essentially, I think the documentation that we provided you should be sufficient to document
There's
what is
dates on each
requested.
one of these, which is okay.
Could we total
That's
these
a good
and
idea.
just make one payment for all of them?
I mean, we could just say we approve the change orders as
There we go.
presented, and then we can.
I'll make a
handle
motion,
the-
we approve the
Yeah.
change orders from HIS constructors as presented to the board.
Thank
We have a motion to approve as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All those here say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, those are approved. Thank you, Kevin. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from the board? Okay, we'll move on to claims. Would entertain a motion concerning the claims?
I make a motion to approve claims.
We have a motion to approve the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All those here say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any announcements or discussion from the board?
I have a, if I could, a point of personal privilege. I just want to thank the mayor, all the department heads, all of our city employees, all of the different boards that have worked hard this past year to accomplish what I think is a very good year for the city of Lebanon. I'm proud to be a citizen of the city. So I'd just like to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a safe and happy New Year.
Well said, Al. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Oh, there's a motion there, but we're good. Very much.
We all agree.
Okay, with that then, in the spirit of Christmas season, would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, our next Board of Works meeting will be January 9th, 2023 at 5:30 PM. Again, wish you all Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will see you next year, I guess, but then the RDC is up next. We are adjourned.